Hello, do you hear me well? Unfortunately, I don't
Carry
hear
on.
anything from you. Hello, nice to see everybody. My name is Alex Burov. I'm from Jmix team, and I'm very pleased to say hello here from Montenegro, where I'm located. And today, my colleague and the Jmix ambassador, Elbashir Nouni, already talked about our platform, about our product, and thanks him very much. Unfortunately, I would only speak in English, as my French is very bad, so I would have to present you with cases on Jmix. I will be in time for 10 minutes, so hopefully nothing will stop us here. So this presentation will be more oriented on the business applications of Jmix. And Ivan, when he basically asked me to join the conversation, asked for possible use cases and which are the success stories for Jmix, and I will try to do my best to give you the overview of our, let's say, possibilities here. So the contact information is here, and for those who did not yet participate in our VIF draw for our Jmix premium course, please take your gift here. Our workflow will send you the links. And in case if somebody will have any questions in the comment section, please kindly ask them in English, as it will be much easier for me to answer you quickly. Okay, thank you so much. So when we're talking about Jmix, when we talk about the applications, we are talking about the history of our platform, and we are in the custom solutions and platform development business since 2008, and got a large number of I would say, known and key valued customers all across the world. Some of them you can see here from different continents, from different countries, with millions of end users, because we ourselves in Jmix team delivered the enterprise systems with literally millions of users and hundreds of thousands of active users for the platform. And we know what is basically the large enterprise systems. From this knowledge, we created Jmix, which originally named was Cuba Platform. Now it's known as Jmix, based upon the Spring Boot, and serves to millions of users worldwide. On different continents, again, in Africa, for example, we're talking about the Central Bank of Western Africa, BCEAO. We're talking about the transport companies like Trans-Namibian Railroads, for example. We're talking about many projects in Egypt. We're talking about the projects in Kenya and many other interesting countries of Africa. And in Europe, you will see some interesting cases. So let's start. As Elbashir earlier said, Jmix consists of different parts. And the most important of them is our open source part. Our framework is absolutely open source and published upon the license of patch 2.0. You can find us on a GitHub. You can make your own fork of Jmix, and please give us a star if you have a possibility. So this is a very, I would say, known product with a cadence of 3 minor versions per year, besides the maintenance version, which our team releases upon the constant basis. So you can come and see our open roadmap here. Above this, we have rapid development tools. Some of them are shown by Elbashir. And we got also a specialized marketplace of ready add-on components that you can add in your project based upon the Spring Boot, based upon our framework, and do not reinvent the wheel, as we say. And at the same time, be both applicable for the proof of concept solution and scale this solution to the production environment. So when we're talking about the enterprise applications in Java, what comes to our mind first? The very known principle of WORA, written once, run anywhere. And this is exactly what we are doing. We are doing applications that can last for decades. And we're talking about the enterprise applications. This is something that business or government needs in different countries. Stability and, I would say, running for decades. The use cases can be the following. As you can see from this slide, these are the cases from the creating new application from the scratch or modernizing the legacy applications. For example, we had plenty of different scenarios when we were moving systems from old obsolete stack like COBOL, for example, okay, like Microsoft Silverlight, in some small cases even from Access, this is a very common case. So we're talking about the creating new applications in different sectors like banking, financial, oil and gas, government, transport, healthcare, and many other things. Many self-service portals, e-commerce system, one of the most applicable cases all across the world. And when I was thinking about what basically we can give here, I decided to highlight those points. When Jmix does appear on the radars, when you can choose Jmix to make things better, when you have cases in the legacy software and you have so-called architectural sprawl, Azure technologies inside your company, and you want to have it strictly, you want to have it business-oriented, you have to do the system which would interact with a variety of other applications, which is by far the most applicable case nowadays. We want to integrate the AI. We want to make the integrations with maps. We want to make it quickly. We want to make it rapidly. And we do not want to spend a lot of money, and we want to make it with, I would say, a short team. This is exactly what we are doing, and without the vendor lock-in. We provide needed instrumentation, documentation, needed learning resources, as well as the future-proof technology based upon the open source technologies, based upon the open source engines and third-party libraries, as well as our code. So I was thinking about three main cases that I would like to tell you about. Government and public services. When we're talking about services for local government or even state government, government-related companies, enterprise teams, when we're talking about the BFSI, telecommunication, and solo entrepreneurs, innovators, startups, business. Let's go point by point. First of all, public services. So we got more than 16 countries where we have Jmix projects and where we know our community maintains the systems based upon the Jmix. You can see them on this slide. And here you can find, this is more applicable for YouTube translation. You can come later and see each case by case. The short number of exact highlighted projects, so where we know the Jmix exists, where we help to develop the systems, enterprise system, for example. I would mention the Central Bank of Western Africa, Ministry of Finance of Spain, where they do use Jmix for, let's say, a platform for the multiplication development with service-oriented architecture and self-contained systems in different scenarios. I would mention also the World Intellectual Property Organization, systems made also in Brunei, in Italy, in Hong Kong, Colombia, Spain, and many, many others. Let's take one case here. Okay, so I would go in the public services for this case, and please use this QR code to have more information. In Italy, Consorzio Metis is the company which provides services to the local government of region of Toscana. They have a very noble work to do. They are maintaining and I would say do the disaster management for the floods and wildfires. Upon the Jmix technology, a limited team of developers brought to the life a new system for maintaining the nature disasters. So this system called SUB-RT, you can find more information by the QR code to have some more info. It was just released in 12 months and now operates for more than a decade already, with the high involvement of the local people, local population into this noble labor. Case number 2, which was published recently on our website, and here you also can use the QR section to give more information, to have more information, is called Dragon Pass. Dragon Pass is the digital platform for premium travel services, provided services all across the world. And when they decided to select the new stack for their new project, they decided to choose Jmix. even comparing to well-known, I would say, low-code platforms with the world names like OutSystems, APN, Mendix, Salesforce, they decided to go for the open source based platform with possibilities to do things way quicker and without any vendor lock-in, like those respected, nevertheless, low-code platforms do. So they migrated their own solution to Jmix in a very limited time and were able to have their effective team with full-stack developers who brought these systems to life and without any extra resources. And they decided to give us this valuable info, so please click the QR code and see more information here. So the key features here was the ready-made components like the high, I would say, precise grained security system provided by Jmix, with integration with Keycloak, two-factor authorization, and many other interesting things that come out of box. You don't need to reinvent the wheel here, and yet you are fully open for the Spring Boot annotations for the Spring Boot development. And the third case that we basically developed ourselves together with our partner in UK, company named Edison Lee, called Sherlock. Visit sherlock.com to see, sherlocktaxi.com, sorry, to visit the high-class system for managing the taxi drivers, so and private taxi fleet management. We are number one in London and England, basically, for the managing of the private taxi fleet management. So we developed a completely new, from the scratch system that's called Sherlock Taxi, provided necessary tooling both for people who are driving the taxi cabs, for the those users who are using this service, and for the dispatchers who are maintaining the taxi in the most optimal way to find the most proper route to the client, provide the most closest taxi driver with the needed amount of fuel, with the needed amount, with the needed level of, let's say, a cab, and so on. So this is also involves the AI implementation here, of course. So what are the benefits in short? It's really faster. We are talking about the faster rollout when comparing with the traditional Spring Boot development. If you come to our site, to jmix.io, you can see the dedicated article for Spring Boot developers. What can you have above when talking about implementing Jmix in your Spring Boot application, in your Spring Boot project? Of course, things may vary, as well as the expertise for the Spring Boot developers, because some professionals do not need frameworks at all. That is totally fine. Some of the professionals in Java do not use Spring Boot. That is totally fine as well. They do not use GPA and so on. That is also case by case. But in general, we provide the proper tooling and knowledge for the onboarding of the new developers very fast. We do not use any runtime limitations. We are fully oriented on the developers and being licensed by the active developer seats, which really means nowadays. And of course, you do have the full control over your source code. It's what you build with Jmix fully belongs to you and your respected customer or your respected company, okay? So this is totally fine. Okay, so even more cases. We brought a lot of applications in BFSI sector in many continents, in USA, in Central Asia, Latin America. As you can see, we brought the banking systems from the scratch together with our partners, did optimization in the existing systems, did the legacy migration. For example, we do have projects in France as well. Here you can see one of those that I'm allowed to talk to with respect to NDA. We have a company, Ingenico, very well known. Okay, yeah, sure, ask questions. And doing some business with Ingenico was a really interesting, very well-known company in France, right? So in the services of healthcare, we do have also some applications on different continents, in Jamaica, in UK as well, in Central Asia, in Kazakhstan in this scenario. As you can see, electronic register for the cancer patients was delivered with Jmix and lasts for decades as well. And working with different utilities, for example, like working with electricity, with water management. These cases are known in France as well. So we have a company partner in Lyon called Alterio, who is working in the exact this scenario, and we are proud to support them in their labor. Okay, some additional cases from logistics here. Already mentioned Namibia, railroad transportation management system delivered upon the Jmix with integration with existing SAP system, which manages all the national operator railroad transportation load, let's say, and managing all the trains within this company. Right. So visit our website to find more information. Please don't forget to take your gift from Jmix team here, and I would be really pleased to answer all the questions that can arise. Okay, I do have some questions in the comment section. Thanks for the presentation. What are the limitations of Jmix, and how does Jmix evolve with the version of Java and Spring Boot, for example? That is a nice question. Thank you, Narcis. And what I have to add, that we are totally evolving with the newest versions of Spring Boot and Java. Currently, we do support the latest version of Spring Boot. As far as I remember, 3.4.2 was the latest one. We do support all the known LTS versions of Java, of course, right? We do support currently the 21st version of Java, and we are preparing for the 22nd, of course. And the version that will come this month, in the end of the February, will supporting Spring Boot 3.4 and the latest version of Vardin as well. What are the limitations of Jmix? Of course, every technology has its limitation, of course. What you should keep in mind that you need to precisely understand the overall strategy and architecture of your Jmix application. You need to have the proper information of the system capabilities to, let's say, do it wisely. Because there are also anti-patterns when you are using Jmix in not correct way, or maybe in some lame way, and this can be the most limitation that you did not go through our recommendations, okay? What about the limitation? I would say we need to think about the high load. You have to build the proper architecture and understand that Vardin, basically, of course, the stateful service that makes total sense when we're talking about the millions of users, which I mentioned. And yeah, I have responsibility for my words. We are using the technologies in many cases. In some cases, you need to build a custom front end, and here you have to implement the JavaScript libraries-based front UI. So that is totally fine, because you need to coexist both UI internal and external. And we do have some recommendations here as well, right? So you have to choose what will be the architecture of your system. Okay, yes, another question about the JHipster. I would really appreciate if you would ask them with the means of at least Google Translate. Otherwise, I would not need to translate them myself. Okay. Okay, is the Jmix as well flexible as JHipster for the managing of front and the backend? If you will come to JHipster website and come to the section of sponsors, you can see that Jmix basically was a silver sponsor of JHipster. But we are a bit different. When we're talking about the JHipster, this is a code generation tool. This is a tool that basically brings your code, and you are developing code with it. Jmix has these possibilities, but it's a different application and different platform, because we are more than this. We are giving our ready-made components. We are giving our ORM about this. And JHipster is something different here. And as we've been discussing this issue today earlier, JHipster now also competing with the, I would say, original IDEs like IntelliJ IDEA with AI assistants, okay? And we are here with just different technology, let's say. But we respect JHipster. We respect the work that they do. And of course, in some cases, they are much more flexible. At the same time, we are more, let's say, oriented on the work of the group, let's say, with the ready-made components and ORM. Hopefully, I answered your question. If something was yet missing, please feel free to contact me, we'll discuss.
And I would ask from the hall, is there any question from the hall? Any question? Don't bother, you can ask in French and I will do the translation. Okay, there's no question from the hall, so thank you very much for your presentation. And don't forget, everyone, scan the QR code to get your gift and from the Jmix team. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Gentlemen, we'll be continuing the conference. So let's prepare to welcome a second